All right, 3, 2, 1. We are starting the event. Hey, what's up, guys? We're live. JayzTwoCents here, Barnacles, and Paul's Hardware.
Hey guys.
Two of these people are self-employed, and one is not. So, I'm jealous of you two, by the way. So, Paul,
Wait a second, Paul's joined the self-employed club here?
Yeah.
where have you been?
What?
Where have you been?
Under
Jerry,
a
you heard
rock,
yet?
apparently? No.
This is
Well, now
like,
you can tell everybody else that doesn't know about it.
this is like my third week now that I've been independent and not a full-time employee. I'm still going in 1 day a week, so I'm still helping out a little bit. So like I was on.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you so much.
That's badass.
We
So
are starting
Has
the
the
event.
stress and
Hey, what's
imminent
up, guys? We're
doom
live.
like
Jay-
hit you yet? Like where you're
No.
like, shit, I gotta make myself do stuff now?
It's very much honeymoon phase right now. The main problem I have is I literally just have way too much stuff to do back here. Like I have all these projects and I'm excited about all of them, and I keep bouncing back and forth between a bunch of them without completing any. So
Yeah, you
but
see,
yeah.
you see back there? Yeah. See that's all stacks and stacks and stacks of stuff to unbox. Yeah, no, I feel your pain, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when I did my room tour this week and I showed inside the closet, I think, yeah, people.
I know the closet. When Jay comes out of the closet, it's with
Yeah.
shitloads of gear in his hands. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, well, with that said, we're going to go ahead and roll that intro. And, guys, we have no topics today. This is going to be purely candid.
Don't
And-
roll the intro yet. Paul needs to sing. We didn't have a singer last week. Paul, you need to sing the intro.
I know. I'm ready to sing the intro.
Okay, I was just making sure. I didn't want us just to have a
I'm-
regular no singing
I'm-
intro last week.
I'm well aware of the tradition, so I came prepared.
Well,
I,
Luke-
I didn't
Luke-
come prepared, but I will sing.
Luke is so down to business. He was like, I'm not singing.
He refused?
No, he didn't refuse. He was just kind of like, he did the Canadian national anthem, actually.
Yeah, he did.
So,
That's sort of counts as singing.
he does. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and roll that intro. Take it away, Paul.
All right. Meet Jay and Jerry. They're doing the Tech Talk show. They're
Something.
going to talk about technology,
Oh, there it goes.
and they're going to have a
Keep
great
going.
day.
It went
And
twice. Keep going.
Fantastic time here at the Tech Talk show. Oh, yeah.
We had a technical difficulty there for a moment. It like stopped playing and then it started over. So
My
Wait,
singing.
technical difficulty on Tech Talk? No.
that would never happen.
That has never happened. That's got to be a first.
Yeah, that's never ever happened. I promise. All right, guys. So where can you get at us? There's a couple places. You got the comments here. Well, you can take your chances with the trolls in the comments. You can head on over to Twitter, hashtag AskTechTalk, not hashtag TechTalk, hashtag AskTechTalk. You can go straight to Paul or Jerry or myself. And Facebook's kind of hard because we can't like see everybody's Facebooks really that visible. So whatever, guys. If you want.
Facebook's a dirty whore, okay? I'm just going to say it.
If you guys want to ask your questions, you can do it there. And with that, we pretty much are just going to kind of do a couple of on-the-fly topics and whatever you guys want to talk about. So Jerry, why don't you go ahead and tell us what's latest in the Microsoft camp?
Oh yeah, so this is awesome. So literally, this is like breaking news because I just was made aware of it like a little while ago. Apparently, Satya Nadella, Microsoft's new illustrious leader, who I will give credit for raising the stock. I mean, that's something that nobody else has been able to do for a very long time. But he's saying some pretty stupid shit sometimes. Like apparently, he was at a women's tech conference, and he decided it was a good idea to basically tell them all that it was bad karma to ask for a raise. Now, granted, he didn't actually use the word women shouldn't, but the fact that he was at a women's tech conference and he said it, people kind of took it as it was implied. I don't think he was honestly like trying to target women, but it kind of comes off that way.
Jerry, do me a favor real quick.
Yes.
Your mic is peaking like horribly. Turn that gain down slightly. Oh God. Oh God. Here we go.
That's way better.
Okay, hold on. Oh, I got this. I got
Much more
this.
sensual that way.
All right, is that better?
I don't know. You have to say
Am I still-
more.
Am I still peeking?
It's wobbling back and forth. It's giving you a nice tremolo.
Ooh. That's what she said.
Oh shit! Hold on. I see what's going on here. Wait a second. Is it this mic? Am I on this?
Yeah,
Okay.
and it's very, very loud.
That's weird. Oh shit! It is. Okay, hold on.
The problem is I had to turn it down so that it matched my levels, but then it makes Paul really quiet.
La 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 la. Is that better?
Yes, that is better.
You good?
Thank you.
You're
My-
welcome. I had to do a slider thing. Okay.
My ears and my eyes appreciate it.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, no, I see the tweet now. Jerry, turn your gain down. You're constantly peaking. That's what she said. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. So I I don't. This is weird when we don't have topics. We've been so structured for so long. I'm like, okay, so how about
Okay, let me ask you some questions. Then, Jay, do you
baseball?
think it's okay for the CEO of a company to basically tell women they shouldn't ask for raises?
Absolutely. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, this just turned into O'Reilly factor. No, just kidding.
This is now The View.
Oh my god, dude.
Well, I think Logan made that comment last night, didn't he, Paul? When we were all sitting there on the couch, he's like, "This is kind of like The View."
It is, yeah. You know,
Women should get paid more than we do, like because they got to put up with like all the constant sexual harassment in the workplace. It's like they should get like a 10% bonus for that.
Okay,
I
but
heard-
then you,
I heard
Go ahead.
Jay gets a lot of sexual harassment at work, right?
me,
What? No.
Who does?
Okay, no.
I constantly sexually harass myself at work.
I was talking about you getting hit on, but
I think all men sexually harass themselves in one way or another.
No,
Wink.
you know what's funny, Paul? When I was heading to your place last night, I had to stop at Starbucks. It was 10:30 at night. I was like, I need this because I'm pulling an all-nighter for almost twice in a row. And I was like the last car through the drive-thru, and it was weird. The chick at the window was like, "So are you heading to work right now, or are you free?" I'm like, "I'm going to hang out with a friend." And she was like, "Oh, that's too bad." I was like, "What?
eh,
What does that mean?"
you just wanted a piece.
I've been off the market for 15 years. I don't know what that means.
That means she was interested in perhaps having sexual relations with you.
She needs glasses.
Well, it's flattering. I mean, you got to say, I'm sorry, I'm taken and everything, but it's flattering.
I think Jerry has taken enough comments of, "Why don't you ever wear your HD 800s?"
What is that?
People were giving me shit for not wearing my Sennheisers.
What?
so
I
come
just
on.
said it. I just said it, didn't I? I was like, I think Jerry's been getting shit for not wearing his Sennheisers lately.
All right, there you have it. Okay, God.
Beautiful.
Actually, these things do sound amazing. I don't know why I've been wearing the other ones.
Because you're an equal opportunity headphone wearer.
You know what? Every headphone has something to offer. Like a lot of people are like, why don't you wear your Sennheisers like all the time? Well, now not just any Sennheisers. These are the HD 800s, right? These are the bajillion-dollar ones. But like, why do you not wear the best pair of headphones all the time? Well, it's like golf clubs. It's like depends on what you're doing. Like the HE 500s have they're super heavy. They're not good if you got to move your head around a bunch, but they have a super warm sound, and I like that. The Sennheiser's got a very, very sharp sound, which
Yeah.
for voice sounds like you're more in the room with them. So these are probably better for this. But yeah,
Somebody in the chat told me to put on my Gunners and act like a cool person. Sorry, my Gunners are in the glove box of the car.
my Gunners are always right
Car?
here because every time I put it on, they pay me $2,000. I'm just kidding, they don't.
Yeah,
I wish they did.
I was actually working from home today and tomorrow, Paul, and I usually leave them at the office because that's
okay.
where. And I didn't take them out of my car yet, so.
I'm gonna be
Yeah,
honest. I haven't worn my Gunners in a week, and I just put them on. And I was like, "Holy shit, that's bright!"
I wear my Gunners every day at work, but I don't wear them at home too much because I don't look at the monitor at home nearly as much as when I'm at work.
I was
Oh,
just
so
worried you were
sexy.
wearing them while you were driving, and that wouldn't work for me.
No,
Well,
they got like a slight magnification. You'd like rear end everybody.
Yeah, that's what messes with me. I can't if I'm
No,
not
actu-
staring at a computer screen. I can't wear them.
Actually, Jerry, I think it would mean I'm stopping incredibly short of everything, actually.
Oh, would it?
Yeah, if everything was slightly magnified, it means I would be farther away from
you're-
it than I
Totally
think.
right.
So,
You're totally right.
so everyone's
I see
rear-ending
what you
me.
did there. I'm gonna put Smart Jerry up here. Give you the
Oh
nod.
my God.
Yeah.
Here we go again.
Somebody was complaining on my YouTube comments about my nostrils being big. Do I have big nostrils?
I don't know. Let me see. Yep.
they're a healthy size.
You could get you could get a C battery up there.
Oh my
You could-
God! So please, come on.
You could fit like a grape, maybe cherry tomato.
Somebody literally
Yeah.
left a comment on my video today. It's like, would you please turn off nostril cam? It's absolutely disgusting looking at your huge ass nostrils. Thank you. Like, I was like, what?
They're referring to the camera angle because every time you look at your monitors, we're looking straight up your nose. So like technically, you
Guys.
need a little taller tripod. That's what you need right there.
The problem is,
Not only that,
the
it's
screens
more
are huge. Like I can't. It's in front of the screen now. Like
Yeah,
fine.
see?
If this makes you guys happy, this
Yeah,
will-
put it on your mic like upside down.
All right, here we go. We got this.
Now we're gonna get boob cam.
Boob cam. Hold on here. Oh wait, it's going down a little bit. Ah, come on, get on
You look like a shooting range instructor.
there. I'm hanging up the target.
Yeah, with the headphones and the glasses, do you look like you're at the shooting range?
Is that better?
That is perfect, right there. You know what's scary is I actually have to see this 3 times. I have the Skype up there capturing it. I have it right in front of me on the stream capturing it, and the stream playing. So every time you do this crap, I have to see 3 of it.
So
I'm
there were
sorry,
six.
Jay.
There were six massive Jerry nostrils right there.
Yeah,
Take one down and pass it around.
there was a
Come
lot
on,
of
what
nostrils
other
there.
tech show has this kind of awesome banter? Okay, this is what makes Tech Talk awesome.
This is like a DIY tech talk show. Like we should take certain aspects of the show because there can always be improvements made, and like just be really open about it. Like, all right, what can we do? You know, can we move Jerry's camera? You know, can
Yeah. I mean, like, I could call up NVIDIA and say, can you guys please fix your fucking drivers? That way they don't flicker when I'm doing Skype. Because everyone right
NVIDIA,
now...
God damn
that'd be good.
Because I'm constantly getting like, Jay, your cams are flickering. Like, I can't see it. Like, I'm just oblivious to their flickering in my face. But it's NVIDIA's drivers. I can't do anything about it.
I'm thinking we can sell some ad space on your microphone there, Jay.
We should actually.
You got the YouTube logo right there. Prime ad
Wait,
space.
Jay gets like $10,000
There
a
we
month
go.
for having YouTube this night.
Oh,
Jeez.
now
wait,
the
this-
aqua tuning money fountain starts to flow.
Yeah. Because you guys know
And now it's
Social Blade's like, actually Social Blade lowballs us. Like the highest number, it's like ×4. That's how much we make. It's like, it's so much money.
They do it for the morale of all the little guys, right?
Yeah,
there.
exactly. You have to put in you have to do a gesture in front of your camera to get to unlock the true figures.
Everyone knows we're really making $65,000 a day.
A day,
That's true. A day.
at least.
A day. But then you got to pay the YouTube tax, which is $59,999 of that.
Yeah.
I think that right.
All right, so I'm going to go over to the Twitter here. I've got 46 new Ask Tech Talk comments that have come in.
Holy shitballs. All right, let's answer some Tech Talk questions.
All right, thank you for all your videos. I'm assuming all of us. There's no one named in that. So all three of us, thank you for our videos.
You're welcome.
Shouldn't we just imply it was targeted at me, though? Like,
Probably.
Okay, let's just
To-
do that. All right,
Tox-
you're welcome.
Toxic Purge is asking me what I do for work. I work in software,
Sorry.
and the camera's dead.
Ah, damn it, I did it again.
You ask what I do for work.
Damn.
You ask what I do for work, and Jerry starts throwing things around. Look at this.
I got a little
Too
nervous.
soon, guys. Too soon.
Too soon. I don't know what having a job's like anymore. It sucks.
No, I work for a software development company. We write proprietary software. I work in QA, as well as my official title is, Jerry?
What is it?
Human interface engineer.
Really?
My job is to make sure that the interface between the software and the human interaction of it makes sense.
Are you like the guy from Office Space that like talks between the customer and the IT department?
But technically, I'm the guy who takes the specs. Yes.
I was gonna say you could boil human interface engineer down to you talk to people. Like,
I'm a people person.
It's all right, dude. I used to be a senior software developer and test, and now they changed that title since I've been gone to software engineer, and everybody's just a software engineer.
True.
so generic.
So yeah, I do that, and then I make YouTube videos as a thing. I try this whole YouTube thing out every now and then. Mr. Murica, awesome
Murica.
name by the way. Do you think the GTX 970 is good for a first-time build? Take it away, Paul.
Wait, a GPU question on the show? We've never had that before. Are we prepared?
Yes, absolutely. If it's within your budget, of course. I mean, if you're looking at what in the maybe $1,000 to $1,200 range
For
I'm thinking
total build,
for
yeah.
total build, then yeah, that's a great one. If not, if you're doing something more entry level, then there are less expensive cards that you would just, you wouldn't have enough money to spend $330. But yes, if you're in that range right now, it's definitely the one GPU I would go for.
Every tech reviewer who's gotten their hands on a 970 and a 980, I think, would have to agree that the 970 is incredibly exciting. It's because for the first time, NVIDIA kind of played to the crowd and gave a high-performing, mid-range priced card.
Hey, I got a good follow-up
yeah.
question from Mr. America here, though.
Okay.
He asked all three of us, "Are you?" And I'm quoting this perfectly. Are you balls deep in NVIDIA or AMD? Oh my God! Well, I'm NVIDIA. I like to bitch about NVIDIA continuously, but I've used it for so long, I don't know how to put it down. I feel like I got Stockholm syndrome with NVIDIA.
Should I list my cards?
Yeah, do it.
The graphics cards you have?
The
List
graphics
them
cards.
all, Jay.
Okay. I've got 3 GTX 780s. I've got 1 GTX 980 now with 2 more on the way. A GTX 970, a GTX 760, a GTX 750 Ti, 2 of those. But I also do have 2 R7 250s, an R9 270, an R9 285, an R9 280, 4 FirePro S10000s, and a FirePro W9100. So if you want to talk about money, I think AMD's tipping the table on this one.
So Jay has basically said that he's balls deep in everything. Like he's an equal opportunity balls deeper.
You know the crazy part is the Fire Pros alone, the Fire Pros on that shelf over there.
Yeah.
I could go buy a Mercedes if I sold them.
Serious?
Serious, I could buy like a little C-Class.
What's the cost per card?
Those workstation cards are absolutely
roughly 4,000 a piece, and I have 5 of them.
Jesus Christ, dude! And they're just sitting on a shelf. They're just reflecting light in your eyes for your own sexual pleasures.
Some of them are in here. Actually,
you realize every day that those aren't turned on in Bitcoin mining, you are losing 60 cents.
See,
do you know that?
S10,000s. I'm losing 60 cents.
You're losing 60 cents a day by not running those things at 100%, eating up all that power.
See, there's technically in this room, there are 9 Fire Pros in this room right now. If I include the server sitting over there.
Hey, Paul, how much do we hate Jay right now? Like, how much collectively do we hate
I don't know what I'm supposed to do with these.
Yeah, that makes it better, Jay. That makes it better. I don't know. These just keep showing up from UPS, so I stick them under my desk and use them to put my feet on top of.
In all honesty, I'm going to be doing some videos coming up about professional graphics and the difference between Radeon and Fire Pro and why you would want one.
I didn't finish then, Jay.
Oh, I could do it in like 16 seconds.
Yeah, I want to see that video. Calculate pi to infinity in 16 seconds, and I really mean infinity.
Yeah, like the car? No, I'm kidding.
No, infinity is just like the number 8, just sideways. I mean, there's really not a lot more difference there.
That's when you know lazy.
Yeah.
All right, so Robert Kane, I think all 3 of us can answer this. He's asking what our biggest complaints and limitations are on cases. Basically, what are our pet peeves with cases? And granted, Jerry, you have case labs. I have case labs. Paul, you've worked with a lot of cases. What always stands out to you as like, I hate this. Why do people do this?
Take it, Paul.
So I think the thing for me that just irks me, having seen a lot of them, is I can tell that there's a base shell that a lot of manufacturers will build quite a few cases around.
So the interior is the same on all of them, and then they have different plastics.
Yeah, different plastic outsides or different stick-on things here and there. And you look at all those, and they're very, I mean, you can tell certain design elements that were made so that they can mass produce them, which makes sense from a business standpoint, but it just means that they're not as individualized. And then when you do have cases that aren't based on some kind of cookie cutter type design like that, then they tend to cost.
Let's face it. I think there's only 3 companies out there. Okay, there's more than 3, but I can name 3 off the top of my head that realistically don't do that. That being Case Labs as a given, because they're hand built to order. Every time you order it, it's then cut.
It doesn't get any more custom than Case Labs unless you're like paying a fabricator to build something custom.
Mountain Mods, which is kind of the same sort of thing as Case Labs. They're out in the East Coast.
I've heard of them. Never used their cases though. Are they the ones that make those huge clear cases?
No, they actually look a lot like Case Labs cases. They're just a different company, right?
Okay, all right.
Origin PC / Digital Storm, they kind of get custom cases made for them. Granted, you couldn't go out and buy the case, so it's kind of a asterisk on that one.
I noticed they looked quite a bit different. I couldn't put my finger on it. I thought they used a prefab case, but you're right. They do look quite a bit different.
And then the other company would be Phobia, which is Aquatuning's house brand. They make a lot of custom cases to their liking, but at the same time, they tend to lack a lot of features I would want for the price, because they're still $400, $500, $600 for those cases.
So who's the company, the kingpin that's making the chassis for the generics?
I don't know. I know there is at least a couple warehouses, or not warehouses, but factories in China that work with like lots of the different case manufacturers. I don't know too much more than that. All I know is I've heard some people say, yeah, I was over there looking at our stuff, and I could see the competitor's stuff like right there in the next line. And it's
I just don't get why they're not selling it. Like I think that'd actually be a cool tactic for you to just sell the chassis with nothing on it, and then like roll some templates in it for cutting your own sides out of like plexi or wood or stuff like that. Like make it like a complete custom home build case.
That would be awesome.
What I think what a pet peeve of mine is one, some cases will only have like 3/4 of an inch behind the motherboard tray for cable management. It makes no difference if you just added another 1/2 inch or even another inch in the total width of the case. Just give us more room behind the motherboard tray. It's not going to make a difference to the overall place where you can fit the case if you give us 1.5 inches of space behind the motherboard tray. And then I would love more options of SSD mounts cosmetic SSD mounts that can mount to the motherboard tray or something, kind of like NZX has started doing, so you can show off your SSDs. A lot of companies were like, hey, let's throw them behind the motherboard tray so you can't see them. But if you have a nice SSD RAID array or something, a lot of people want to show it off.
At Corsair's, the 760T that I have, they have them kind of at the back, and they're sideways, so when you put them in, you can see them. The main problem there is that they only go one way, so there's a lot of SSDs.
They're upside down.
I think even some Corsair SSDs, when they pop them in, they don't face the right way.
But the problem with that, when I was looking at that case, is the bracketry that holds it all together is ugly too. It's like plastic everywhere.
Yeah, it's big plastic notch latch things.
Yeah.
You guys actually covered my pet peeves pretty much. I'm with Jay as far as having more space behind the motherboard tray. It almost seems like that should be a dynamic feature in cases. Like they should give you like risers, so that you can like move that whole mechanism out. Like that would be freaking fantastic. But I guess the problem that you got to contend with is the slots in the back of the case would also have to be dynamic and move so that they line up with the motherboard after you push the tray up further.
I think some companies and some manufacturers just go way overboard on the amount of hard drive support they offer.
Yeah, I don't need a case of 24 hard drive bays for like my workstation. That doesn't make any sense.
Like the Cosmos SE from Cooler Master, I love the aesthetics of the case. It's the mid-tower version of the giant Cosmos 2, which everyone likes, right? The Cosmos 2 is kind of a luxury case.
Is that really out there looking case? Like
I guess that would be subjective. I don't know what you mean by out there.
Hold on, I'm gonna go look it up.
It's got 2 bars across the top of it. It's black.
And the bottom, and you can fit like 18 SSDs in the thing.
Oh no, I love that case. I've seen that. That's a really elegant looking case.
See, but that's again a subjective dislike because I care more about the cooling aspect of the case and the water cooling compatibility, and those hard drive cages just wreck that. Because if you want water cooling, you have to give up the cages. If you want to do 2 rads, if you want to use the cages, you have to give up a rad. So I don't want to compromise.
Dude, I just thought of something really cool that I've never seen a case do before. Everybody always makes the sides of the case out of like plexi or metal and puts some mesh in them. What if you made an entire side of a case on both sides mesh? Like you literally took something like, I don't want to say nylons, like panty nylon, but something like that, and stretch it across the frame that holds it on the side of the case. It would effectively just be transparent. Air could just freely flow.
The only problem with that though is the reason why you put all your components in a box is so you can control the airflow.
That's true. You do want a current of air going through.
That's why people are always like, why can't you just put your components on a test bench and run it fully like that? Well, a lot of your passively cooled components on the motherboard and whatnot would not get active cooling at that point.
If you were heavily liquid cooled, though, it wouldn't matter. I mean, but it would have to be a lot of liquid.
Even liquid cooled systems, you still have to have air running across the motherboard because you still have lots of those caps and the VRM heat sinks and whatnot that still have to be cooled.
Well, it depends, though, because a lot of those caps and stuff have heat thresholds that are high into 100 degrees Fahrenheit. I mean, as long as it was one of those...
You mean Celsius?
Like no, not Celsius. Would it be?
Yeah, 100
really?
degrees
100
Celsius.
Degrees Celsius is like fucking super hot.
They're like 284 degrees or something like that.
You guys remember
operate at that temperature? Jesus.
You remember the Antec Landboy Air?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was like all mesh everywhere. Then they actually recommend just putting a bunch of fans on it all pointing in.
Just the box fans.
I do feel like there's a company out there though that kind of tailors towards the type of out of the box ideas that you're thinking of, Jerry, and that would be InWin.
Oh, I do remember InWin.
Like the D frame. That's a fully open rig.
Yep.
But it still has mounts within it to give you some directional airflow, so you can direct the air.
Oh, I know which case you're talking about. I think. Do you guys know Unfazed, the Twitch streamer guy?
No.
He's the guy that his setup's amazing. I'll show you sometime. But he's Unfazed with a 4 in his name on Twitter. But he's got 6 monitors and 2 computers, and both of his computers are like super, super high-end builds. But it's all liquid cooled, and it's all built on those open chassis, like test bench chassis.
Yeah.
And he runs on there, and the system just looks beautiful. I love having everything just out there. I think it's really cool.
I'm actually doing it's being built right now as we speak, a Case Labs S8 open air test bench.
Are you building it with your feet?
I could. You want me to?
It's like it's being built right now.
No,
How is that possible, Jay?
The case is being built.
Oh, the case is being okay.
Remember, Case Labs builds everything to order. It doesn't exist until you order it. Then it gets built by a human.
Oh, I see. That is.
You didn't know that?
No, but what I love about Case Labs, I'm looking at it right now. I pulled up a picture of it, but I love that it's really simple looking. I really love how simple looking it is.
It's the S8 test bench is fully outfitted. I have the external rad mounts and the flex bays and all that stuff. So it's gonna be fun. It's just going to be a dust issue.
Is it that thing? Right? Is it this guy right here?
No. That's not it.
Oh, that's not it?
Look up Case Labs
That's
S8
a
test
high-speed
bench.
PC, right?
Oh, that's what I looked
HSPC.
up. S8 test bench. Okay,
No, you got to put Case Labs in there. S8 is a very common number people use because of the Audi.
Oh, Jesus, that's way nicer. Okay,
Yeah.
so this guy right here.
Right.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, so I'm going to be building my test rig in there. Hopefully I'll be having the rest of my X99 parts for that build.
I wish Case Labs loved me like they love you, Jay. They don't love me.
It takes
It's because you build nicer computers.
It takes brown lipstick, Jerry. It takes
brown lipstick and the ability to wrap cables and conceal them. And like somebody said something funny about my case. I can't remember the exact words, but it was somewhere along the lines of you couldn't make it look worse if you tried.
By default, you made it a themed build.
Like yeah, they were like you seriously, like, even if somebody just grabbed shit and just plugged it in as fast as they could, it would look better than what you've achieved.
You're like, my theme with this build is to see just how messed up I can make it look.
Yeah, it's like steampunk. You know, people try to make everything look rusted, and like, so I was trying to go for that same, I don't give a shit look, but with a $10,000 computer.
I'm sorry, Jerry, but you missed the mark on steampunk like by miles. All right, moving down here. Frumpy says, Jay, she just wanted the J, dude. I guess referring to the drive-thru lady.
Oh.
She wanted the J.
What?
G Land says, is water cooling only worth it if I buy GTX 980s, or can I do it just because it's going to look cool? 2970s. Absolutely. Why not? Here's what you're going to find. If you're looking around and you're saying, I can't find any water blocks for my cards, it means most of the time people are not water cooling those cards. Therefore, it's not worth it for companies to build blocks for it. 970s, you're not going to have any problems finding blocks for it if it's not the WindForce edition. The WindForce edition, people tend to not make cards or blocks for because they're still very niche.
Can't you just buy generic blocks though and slap them on there if you're really like hell bent to Georgia to do it?
No, because the real benefit to water cooling is keeping those VRMs cool. And universal water blocks don't touch the VRMs or the VRAM.
I gotcha. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Jay, you are an oracle of technical information.
Just water cooling. Everything else, I just pretend.
Nice. Good to know.
Why don't you go ahead and grab a couple questions, Jerry?
Well, do we grab a couple questions, or we talk about the topic that you don't want to talk about?
Go ahead. Do
I have the all clear for this?
Absolutely. There are
it made me giggle like a schoolgirl, so I want to talk about it.
Well, go ahead and talk about Samsung's ad they ran first.
Okay.
The bend to something that's worthy or whatever it was, right?
Yeah. Okay. The ad. Actually, I don't even know if I've seen the Samsung ad. I just read what people were saying about it.
I'll pull it up
on Twitter. Yeah, pull it up. But in a nutshell, Samsung decided to go after Apple for their bending iPhone, and they thought that was a great campaign. But I guess nobody over there decided to actually pick up the S4 and try to bend it, because it bends the exact same way in the exact same place. It literally, our buddy over at Unbox Therapy, who got 50 million hits on the original bend.
76 million? Or is it 80 million now?
By now, it's probably 70. I mean, it was 50.
No, it was at 76 yesterday.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so anyways, he made that video. So the cool thing about the thing I really liked is that he decided to try the Samsung phone and do the exact same format video, and no shit, it bends exactly in the same place with nothing but his hands, and it looks identical to the iPhone.
Okay, Jerry, you'll see it in a couple minutes. I just put the ad up on screen for a minute. It's a Samsung ad they ran after Lou did his bend video, and it says bend to those who are worthy, and it's like an iPhone that looks like it's bending down on its knees as like, we're not worthy, in front of the Galaxy Note 3. Yeah, I guess technically the ad is accurate in the sense that the Note 3 didn't really bend, but the Note 4 sure as hell didn't follow suit.
No, but that's the funny thing about it though, is it's like, they're like, we don't have that same problem, and then they're like release a product like days later, and it's like it bends the exact same way. And then I read somewhere that the iPhone 6 prompted Samsung to do an early release, so they actually released ahead of schedule.
Why?
Because the iPhone, they're worried everybody was going to run out and buy an iPhone.
That's like the Modern Warfare or the Black Ops. No, Ghost. That's like the Ghost versus Battlefield 4 fiasco that happened, right? Oh, we got to get Battlefield 4 out first. We're going to ship the worst project DICE has ever made because we want to be first to being trolled. And that's exactly what happened. Sorry, I didn't mean to rant right there. But anyways,
deserving. It's well deserved.
I know this thing. I know Bendgate is beat to death, but I just think it's ironic that one of the few companies that actually comes out and decides to kick Apple while they're down, like, commits the exact same problem. That's going to cause like a big credibility issue for them. Because with Apple, it's not like they ever promised their phone wouldn't bend, right? But Samsung, by going after Apple, is implying that their shit will not bend.
I've seen Samsung do some really terrible ads though. Have you seen the ad for the watch, their first smartwatch that came out?
No, I didn't.
It's like some dude skiing like with this chick, and she's like all impressed by the smartwatch. It's awful. It's so terrible. Like, but yeah, they have some people in their marketing teams who have no idea what they do.
But let me ask you this. Here's my iPhone 6. No, it has not bent yet. And I'll admit I did like put some force on it just to see. All right. So if you watch Lou's videos, I mean, his hands are twitching, his fingers are turning white, and he's like doing everything he can to get a slight bend, and it's like, oh, it bended. Let's be realistic here. You're talking about plastic and metal. In this case, it's all metal and glass. But you're talking about other phones that are plastic and metal, and I'm sorry, you give any amount of force, at some point, it's going to bend. So why is it freaking news that phones are bending?
No, and I mean, that's the comedy in it, though, really.
Okay,
I mean,
the iPhone 6 does seem, the Plus, I should say, does seem to bend a little bit easy. Like when he did his video on the street, granted, he did it with people who are other YouTubers. They weren't like just candid people on the street like people thought it was. He did seem to bend it pretty easily. The whole screen came out. He almost could have folded it in half if he wanted. That is a legitimate problem. But here's the question I have about this. And this is one of the reasons why I didn't want to get into this, because I like Lou, but I have questions for Lou if I could talk to him. He prompted a lot of independent testers like Consumer Reports to do their tests, and they took that press and they tested what the actual bend force was on all these phones. Lou could not bend his iPhone 6. He got a slight bend that he was able to put back and never noticed. He could not bend it. The iPhone 6, which started all of this, bent really easy. According to Consumer Reports, it took 15 more pounds of force to bend the 6 Plus over the 6, therefore saying the 6 should bend easier, which wasn't the case. Who's lying?
Depends on where the pivot point was.
Siri should answer that question right now because she was listening.
Siri was
I know,
listening.
right?
She have an answer. Ask Siri why she bends.
Oh, here we go.
Ask her.
Let's see. Are you going to bend?
I'm sorry, Jason. I'm afraid I can't answer that.
Oh, there's the truth.
Oh, she's gonna play that card. Oh my god. Okay, so no, I mean, it's funny, but the truth is, if you applied that same amount of force on any phone, more than likely it's gonna break.
Yeah.
If it's not gonna bend, it's gonna break.
It's not news to me.
I've got a 1+1 right here. I'm not gonna bend test it when I take it out of the box, but I'm pretty sure if I push on it until my knuckles turn white, it's gonna shatter in half.
Wuss.
Should I, guys?
Jerry,
should I bend it into a taco and get my
Jerry,
$360 back or whatever?
Jerry, if you knew going into it, bending your iPhone 6 Plus was going to get you 80 million views, how many would you bend?
I would have bent all of them, and then I would have wiped my ass with them because just to get those extra few weird views.
You must be the first person to bend their OnePlus phone. You have to.
No, I'm not gonna lie. I cannot fault Unbox Therapy for what he did, regardless of whether he made no. You know, he didn't say how much pressure he used. He didn't really, I mean, he kind of did, but he didn't say like in foot-pounds per square inch and how it was applied. He just literally showed him doing it. So, you know, I applaud him for making that video first and getting all those views. That's crazy. And I have to admit, when I watched it, I was like, holy shit. But the problem is people they get stuck in that mindset of, oh my God, the iPhone bends. And they don't think about, oh my God, if you did that with any phone, if you did that with like an 80s Nokia flip phone, it would just snap in half. If you did it with a phone that was not metal, that was like plastic back, like a Lumia 1520 or something like that, it's literally just going to shatter. I mean,
I was looking over here at the questions, and Frumpy says, "Hey Jay, can you tell me where to find my pants?" I don't know why I thought of the Lego Movie. Where's my pants?
The Lego
right
movie
here, show's over.
Hey, since we're talking about the Lego Movie now, was it just me, or was the first half of that movie absolute shit and then it just became brilliant?
I think that was the point, though.
Was it? Because I like watched the first half of the movie and I was like, I was expecting so much more in this. I was actually like getting irritated by it, and then the last half I was like shitting myself laughing. It got that much better. It's almost like the script was sucking and they were just like, screw it, guys, everybody go get drunk and just make shit up.
I still like when
so much better.
I still like when he was a ghost.
Like when he's on top of the building, he's just flying around. I was like, they like zoom out and it's like,
it's a double-decker couch. That is the worst idea I have ever seen.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's a great
Okay.
movie. We bought it. We had to have it. All right, go ahead and grab some questions, guys.
All right, to the questions.
Questions.
Hashtag #AskTechTalk. All
I had one.
right.
I had one a second ago. Where did it
Go.
go?
Paul, give it to us.
All right, John Ivar Rubach was asking what rock solid 80 plus gold or better 600 to 650 watt modular power supply would you choose?
It's very specific.
It is fairly
No,
specific.
I don't even have an answer for that. I don't deal with power supplies
I
under
do.
1,000 watts because they're for poor people.
But I do. But it's Paul's question. Go.
Paul,
Well,
go.
The only reason I had an immediate answer is because I've actually been working with an Antec one just recently, the Edge 650, which is a new one, and I like it so far. It's made, it's OEM by Seasonic, and it has a white LED fan, but it has a switch to turn it off, so it can be really like
That's
low
cool.
profile, pretty clean black, or you can turn it on and it's got hex mesh all over it, like all sides, so the fan kind of glows through it, so kind
That's
of a cool
cool.
effect. But yeah, there's a ton of them out there though. If it had been if he was asking for bronze, I have the new fractal one here too, which
I think for a gold rated in that range, I would have probably personally recommended like the V700
yeah.
from Cooler Master, mostly
Those are
because of
solid.
because of the gold guarantee. I mean, they even pay for the shipping if it breaks, so that's a pretty big deal to me.
Any of the ones that the fan doesn't spin up on until they actually hit a certain temperature are all
Right.
nice because they're
And that's why in Skunkworks I'm going to be switching over to the 1600 Platinum. Granted, with the 3980s, it is like so beyond overkill. I even asked CVG, I was like, can I get a lower wattage one maybe? Because this is a little. They're like, well, that one's probably the one you should use. I'm like, okay, fine. So I'll use the 1600 and I'll use it at 30% max load. But the Platinum actually has the hybrid fan in it. The gold has low RPM fan that ramps up, but the Platinum, which I like, is completely passively cooled until needed. And I figure at the efficiency I'm going to be using it at with these 980s, I might be able to benchmark it without the fans turning on immediately.
that would be
The
nice.
amount of shit you guys know about power supplies is like blowing my mind right now.
Oh, and we're like,
I buy a power supply. I'm like rated 5 stars by 4,000 people. Puts out enough power to light most cats on fire. I'm like done. Click.
and that's pretty reasonable. But honestly, there's really only like maybe 4, 5, 6 reviewers online who actually do real power supply testing because you
Like
need
with
literally
load
like
testers.
you need like $20,000 worth of equipment to actually test ripple
Yeah.
and all of that stuff. So Johnny Guru is always like the one everyone leans towards.
That's
But
why
there's-
when I did my 1600 watt power supply review, I was like, guys, I'm going to talk to you about this power supply, but if you really want to know about it, go to Johnny Guru, and I linked his article about it.
Also, guys, don't cheap out on power supplies. I did that for years, and I almost burned my house down because of it. Like, I'm not even joking. I told Jay this story once, and it's like I have an Antec 900 case where the power supply is mounted at the bottom. Like, you couldn't get any lower in the case where the power supply is. And luckily, I was sitting in my nerd cave, and I smell burning plastic, and I see a poof of smoke. And then I look down under my desk, and no shit, it looks like a campfire. Like, you can see the light flashing along the back of the wall. And I look in the back, and it's literally the inside of the power supply was on fire. It was like the caps and shit in it were actually physically on fire, and it would have propagated itself outside and
I
caught the
imagine
carpet on fire.
I imagine, Jerry, that you probably had that look on your face like Doc Brown in Back to the Future when the car lit the trash can on fire. You're like,
Oh, and the worst part about this, I have two fire extinguishers in the nerd cave, but I was so frantic and like fucking like mind blown that my computer caught fire
You
that I
ran
didn't even think to go
downstairs.
grab one of them. I just started blowing on it. I'm like, and
let's
I did.
fan this fire.
Yeah, I successfully blew it out. It was like blowing out a candle, but then when I blew it out, a big plume of smoke came out of the back.
That doesn't surprise me that you blew it well enough.
Yeah, no, that scared me. But you know how many lucky close calls I've had lately? Just in the last week, I had a CFL bulb catch fire.
what?
Like, have you ever seen that?
No?
Stop buying your CFLs at the dollar store.
It was a Cowboy Studio 500 watt equivalent, one of the big
It's
guys.
the same thing. Cowboy Studios is the next thing to the dollar store on Amazon that you can
Okay,
get.
fine. It was a dollar store bulb, but luckily I was in my office when it happened. But the light started flickering behind me because I was recording a time lapse video, and the light starts flickering. I'm like, "What the fuck?" And I turn around, I look at it, and smoke's billowing out of it, out of the
Yeah.
bulb. I couldn't even touch it; it was so hot. I had to turn the lamp off, and it didn't blow up.
Now, I know I've mentioned this before. I don't know if I mentioned it on Tech Talk, but I've been afraid to benchmark my system much more because this house is built in '63. It's 50 years old, and it's like all of the wiring in the walls are original. I have no idea what's in the walls. I know there's no insulation in there to catch fire, first of all. But when I'm loading Skunkworks and I'm benching like on Firestrike when it's doing combined tests, which legitimately loads the CPU and graphics simultaneously, I was sitting here just kind of leaning back, and that test happened, and all the lights in the house started like browning out, like going dim, a light, dim, bright, dim, bright. And I was sitting there terrified, not knowing exactly what was going to happen. I was half expecting the whole house and maybe the neighborhood to go black. Yeah, Paul, talk about that since you showed it to me yesterday, because I'm going to pick one up.
Okay, so
whoa, dude, that's like an Android powered power strip.
yeah, this is a pretty
It's a
pretty
smart
heavy duty.
strip.
This is a kilowatt product, and I have to give credit to Steve for discovering this thing. But the thing, this little thing right here on it, Jay, would help you out there, because basically it's an amp limiter,
Yep.
so you can limit it to 2, 5, 10, or 15 amps.
It was
so
funny.
you can basically be like, I know on that circuit I have some other stuff running, so I don't want this power strip to pull more than 10 amps, and you can cut it off right there. But the reason I really like it is it has it'll monitor your wattage as you're doing benchmarks or whatever, and it can actually monitor peak wattage, and it will register that and save it for you, and then it can go and clear it. So
it's like they literally took a kilowatt monitor and built it into a power strip.
they did, but it's even better. Like they added even more stuff. It's like
Well, because you have that dial that you can adjust on there, which
Yeah.
is nice.
How much are those?
it was 62 when I got it, but I think there's a instant rebate that I didn't add. That was for like 15 bucks off or something. Yeah.
I've seen some of the higher end like Belkin and Monster strips go for more than that.
Double that.
Well,
Paul,
Monster.
Paul,
Monster's
can you like SMS me the model number of that thing?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Cool. So you guys are working out deals right here on TechTalk live.
Oh, here's a question for me from Matthew K. He said, how did you make barnnerd.com URL redirect to your YouTube? It's actually pretty easy. You just got to go, depending on who you registered your URL with. If it's GoDaddy, you just go into the control panel and say that you want to register you want to forward that domain, and then basically they just create like a fake little page that just takes it and redirects it to YouTube. It's actually it's pretty easty to do.
Paul, everyone's asking for the model and number or the brand and all that.
That's a pretty cool product. I didn't know it existed.
Kilowatt PS-10.
Yep.
And if you just want the voltage monitoring features, Kilowatt I use it for when I'm charging my Chevy Volt because I want to see how much power it was consuming. You literally just plug it into the wall, and it's got a screen just like that on it. And it doesn't do the amp limiting and shit like that, but it does show you how much power is being consumed over time, watt hours, and you can actually like log your stuff.
I don't know who asked it, but I saw it go by quickly in the chat. Someone asked what brand knee pads I'm using to get all of the hardware. Whichever brand knee pads are sent to me.
He even gets the knee pads for free. Oh, you've got one. There it is.
Well, yeah, that's what I use to do all my measurements, is something like that.
Yeah, I've got that exact same one. It might be like a model older because it's a little bit more edgy, but no, the thing works great.
Thanks, Paul. I got your text. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, man.
Glad I could help.
Serious question from Mogi Ding Ding. Serious question. Who can drink more, Jay Paul or Logan?
Logan.
I'm going to say Logan.
Yeah.
It's got to be
Logan was standing in front of the fridge last night going, I have no more beer. It was funny. He was in the fridge. I have no more beer.
Well,
Paul's
it's
like,
because he found an IPA called Modus Operandi.
It was
which
gross.
is an awesome name. You didn't like it?
I hated it. That was, oh.
Well, he likes really
Logan
hoppy
is a
stuff,
huge
but,
bitch.
yeah.
What was it like being able to look somebody in the eyes, Jay? What was it like?
I have to look up ever so slightly to him, like 2 degrees.
Oh my god, dude! When he came to Maker Faire, I was like, "Oh my god!" I turned around. I was like,
No,
"Oh shit!"
no, Logan's tall, but
He's
until
tall, dude.
you've met Josh, you haven't seen tall.
Yeah, I saw Josh when he was over there, and he stood up to walk away. I was like, "Whoa!"
Yeah,
And he was driving that Corvette. I remember that.
that was pretty funny. He was kind of like he was like,
Big man in a little car. I'd love to see him try to get into a Lotus with the top off, like have his head just sticking out like a Power Wheel.
it would look like a go-kart.
It would. That'd be awesome.
Let's see. Over here on the Twitters, the hashtag AskTechTalk, Trent Jacob says, which would you spend your money on right now? Switching to X99 or upgrading to 900 series NVIDIA? He also notes he only games.
900 series.
900 series.
Yeah.
NVIDIA.
Yeah.
Screw
Yeah.
X99. In fact, your benchmarks in games are actually a little lower on X99 overall.
What?
Yeah.
Yep.
New
I don't know
chipsets
what you're
are
talking
for
about.
GPU
The 50
all the way.
Well, okay, I'm assuming 5960X at this point. But yeah, 5960X benchmarks overall are slightly lower than some of the Z97 overclocked counterparts.
Than a 49.
4790K.
4790K.
Yep.
Oh God, this one made me laugh.
have
Dennis
one
said
of
Apple should make an ad with a crumpled up Samsung S4 with an iPhone on top of it.
Taking a dump.
That would be brilliant. That would. Oh my God, if Apple did that, I'd laugh so hard. Oh my God.
So George Mapokos Tees says, "Hey Jerry, how's it going with your OnePlus 1 plan? Any plans for a video with it? I would assume so.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a video.
You can't comment on how you like it yet, guys. The box is still sealed. Look at it.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna take it out of the box tonight. Shoot the unboxing because you guys all like to see stuff come out of brown things. Ooh, that sounded bad. But I'm gonna unbox tonight and then I'll use it all night and put in all my information and then I'm gonna create a list of all the shit that bugs the hell out of me and then do a video tomorrow.
Darkman asks all of us if we are going to be at PAX East this coming year, and I think it's going to be, April or something like that. I might be going with a friend since he invited me to go with him. That's good news. I don't know. Maybe.
I'm a PAX West for life.
There's nothing wrong with going to all of the PAX.
I might be PAX East if that's really too far out in the future for me to say for sure. But actually, I'm excited because I might be able to go to PAX Prime this year or this coming year. Newegg hasn't been able to do anything there for the longest time because they have these Nexus laws about doing business there if you don't charge tax and stuff. So we were never able to go. So that'd be kind of cool.
You weren't even allowed to
PAX
enter the
is
state.
Awesome.
Yep.
I loved going to PAX. That was an awesome event. I can't wait to go again.
People keep telling me, like, Jay, you need to do more Shadow of Mordor benchmarks. Why? It was 100 minimum, 100 average, 100 max. The game is hard capped at 100 frames per second. Yes, there are tweaks that you can do to limit that, to remove that cap. However, when you do that, artifacting and glitching became apparent, which shows that the engine is hard limited to 100 FPS. You put a 970 in there, you're going to get 100 by 100 by 100, benchmarked. People begged me to do that benchmark. I was excited to do it, and I was like, what is this shit?
That's good to know, actually. Now I don't need to buy that game.
100, 100,
don't
100.
tell it like it is, Jay. Don't tell it like it is. Oh, my God.
Now, if you had something like a Titan Z, I won't even say Z, if you had something like that, which has the 12 gigabytes of VRAM, then you could start potentially playing around with the texture packs, which apparently then even have a minimum requirement of 6 gigs of VRM, or VRAM. So, I don't know. I'm going to do it and see how the 980 can fare. But if we're talking about just vanilla, however the game ships, it is not a demanding game at all, people. Period.
Oh, everybody's telling me I should go to PAX East now. All right, well, somebody sponsor it because I'm poor people now. I need a sponsored trip.
Jerry, we'll go together. Let's
do it, Paul. Let's work it out. Let's do it.
I'd be down.
I totally. And then we can poke fun at Jay the whole time and follow him around and be like, hee hee, look at us. We're together. We're a thing now.
The day one of PAX East this last time, I was like in a pretty rotten mood, and it was like just tons of people kept like coming up and saying hello and like introducing themselves and saying they watched the videos, and it like totally turned my day around. It was like awesome. So the fans who go there,
guys,
I think are just
when
fantastic.
Paul's in a bad mood, it gets dangerous. He's like Ned Flanders, and he will say, "Oh, fiddlesticks," and then he goes and prays about it.
Hey, Paul, do you ever keep count of the people that come up to you?
No, but I don't think I would have been able to on that day. It was just like it was pretty constant. It was awesome.
Yeah, on PAX I came close to 150 over the 3 days. I was like, dude, this is awesome.
My favorite thing was to just like try to snap a selfie or a quick picture with like everyone who came up.
I was signing shirts and I signed a Minecraft pickaxe. I haven't played Minecraft in like a year, and some kid walked up to me and he's like, "I love your videos. Will you sign my Minecraft pickaxe?" I was like, "Sure."
Nice.
I'm gonna throw a blanket shout out to the Lutro Customs guys to say thank you for the new cables for the 980s. They arrived today.
Yeah, Lutro Customs. Have you seen my cables? Send me some cables.
Don't send him anything, guys. They would be a waste.
That's
so
true.
Anyway, yeah. So the 980s, because they have two 6-pin connectors, because these are reference PCBs. My custom cables are 6-pin and 8-pin. So I was like, I got the cards coming and everything, yay! And I was like, crap. These cables are not going to work. So I'm just showing you guys because everybody's always asking what cables they are. They're Lutro Customs.
They are pretty cables.
And these are extensions. I am getting a full sleeve set of power supply cables, but if I ever stop being lazy and actually measure them out for them, because we're going to do custom length stuff.
Here's
that's
a
what
question
I'm still waiting on too, is sending them measurements.
Do you guys consider yourself? Well, Jay's a car guy. Are you a car guy, Paul?
No.
They go vroom vroom and
Okay, are you a car guy if it's an incredibly nerdy car?
Like maybe. I mean, I followed some of the Tesla stuff because I think it's cool and I like what they're doing to stir up the industry and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know. My cars, I don't take very good care of. No, I take good care of my car's engine, but like I don't wash it and stuff because I'm like, as long as it drives me places.
Oh, trust me, I'm the same way. My car looks like the paint's about ready to fall off, but boy, does it go.
My paint is falling off.
So no, Chase Butler asked. He asked if we're excited about Tesla's unveiling tonight. I don't know what they're unveiling, but
the D.
They're unveiling the D.
You're not excited?
It's supposed to be like the 40 grand affordable version. I don't care about electric cars. Period.
Oh, that's true. In California, you guys don't have spare electricity to spare, so
no, not even that. I don't give two shits at all about electric cars.
Serious?
Serious. I don't care how fast they are.
Like the ones that are faster than gas cars?
Nope.
Dude?
I don't care about. I don't care about the Porsche one. I don't care about any of those electric cars.
What?
I really don't.
What?
I don't.
Really?
No, I'm
not
all.
Not even the P1, like the McLaren.
Not
P1?
in the least, because I consider myself a muscle car guy.
The P1 is a muscle car.
No, listen to me.
Fucking things like 0 to 60 in 2.8. Find a muscle car that'll do that.
No, I don't care at all about the electric motors. I don't care about any of that stuff. Like the new Lamborghini we were talking about, the
oh my God, Jay,
whatever it was, the Asterion or whatever it is, that bull,
Yeah.
whatever bull that is. I don't care. I don't.
Oh my God, Jay.
You understand?
Jay, you're
you gotta
breaking
understand.
apart right now, Jay.
You gotta understand. If I had my pick of any car I wanted right now, if I could have any car on the planet right now, I would have a 1970 Camaro with a 454 in it. That's what I would have.
You know what I'd have?
That's my car.
McLaren P1.
You
Hands
can't
down.
fit in a P1.
I don't even care. I would lose. That's the one thing I'd lose weight for. Like if they said I had to lose 100 pounds in 2 months and they'd give it to me for free, I would seriously like go full on bulimia. I'd get a garden hose up in my gut, up my butt, suck all the fat out of there. I don't know how that works, but I'd make it happen.
Well, the garden hose blows water out. It doesn't take things out. It's different.
I am not going to put
like
the garden
an enema
hose
that can clear out like refuse and other things. That
I bet you
have
I would
gone
lose
up
a
in there.
couple pounds. I'd lose a couple pounds on an enema.
B
like, a couple
man
steaks
says.
would fall out.
B man says. Damn, Jay sounds stubborn. No, I have what I like, and I like what I like. If I don't like what you like, too bad. If you want to consider that stubborn, fine.
Jay is a very direct guy. He always has been. It's one
Everyone
of the things
needs
I
to
like
be
about
more
him.
direct. This whole idea of like you need to say what people want to hear so they don't get offended. Fuck that. I'm sorry. That's not the way I operate, and I've
Jay
never
is
operated
real.
that way.
You're real, son.
Keep it real. I just threw down my iPhone to make a point.
But you're still a little bitch for not caring about Tesla because Tesla's awesome.
You know why I don't care about Tesla? Because they're everywhere, and it's always like, oh my god, that's a Tesla. Like in my business complex that we're in, it's like 5 Teslas there, and I'm always seeing them.
You can't use that excuse though, and then be holding an iPhone in your hand.
No,
in my personal
we're talking.
opinion. Like, come on.
Yeah, but
everybody's got those,
do I take my iPhone and wave it around? People be like, I have an iPhone. No. When I go to Starbucks and I pay with it, it gets a little annoying when the baristas are always like, oh, is that a 6? And I'm like, it's a phone that has the gift card on it. Scan it.
Tell me the truth. Has anybody in person when you whipped it out asked you if you tried to bend it, like in person?
No.
Okay, I'm just curious.
In fact,
I'm curious to see how far
usually
Bendgate actually made it.
I usually make the joke when they're like, is that an iPhone 6? I'm like, yep, and it's still straight. And they'll just kind of like, they'll chuckle a little bit.
They're like, what is that? Some kind of gay joke? And start punching you.
But yeah, if I'm labeled stubborn for liking what I like, then I'm the most stubborn person on the planet, and I will accept
I feel
that
the
label.
exact same way Jay feels about electric cars, but the exact opposite. Because I love where electric cars.
And do I think you're stubborn or dumb for liking electric cars? Of course not.
Just
I couldn't care less what you like, honestly.
As soon as he turns
Jay,
off the stream, I swear he's gonna just start yelling at me, guys. He's gonna.
Yeah, I feel like I understand your passion for the muscle car and everything. Like I really do get that. But how can you not at the same time have some excitement about like electric cars, hybrid cars, like just the future of
I don't know. To me,
transportation,
there's
that
just
kind of
something
thing?
about the manual tuning of the carburetor jets and things like that, and being like, my tuning is controlling the power of this car, not what
Whoa.
software am I running in this car.
Whoa, Jay, hold on. Hold on. I got him now, Paul. I got him backed up against the ropes. Dude, you are like one of the most respected fucking computer tuners, like on the internet for like getting the max out of GPUs and shit. And you're saying that you don't like a car that you can literally plug a USB cable into and remap everything. You
But
can
what-
overclock a Tesla and get the fucker to go like a second faster.
Why does that mean I have to feel that way about cars?
Because you make it faster and better and awesome. You can tune it. You can tune it, Jay.
You know what's funny? Real car guys and real muscle guys would argue that real tuning is when you do it through jets and carburetors.
Isn't your car you drive now fuel injected?
My car is a freaking grocery getter. How can you even compare that?
That's true. I guess what you drive doesn't necessarily have to be what you love.
You know what?
Jay's still building his 5-second car.
I drive a truck, so I
Yeah,
drive
5 seconds to get down the driveway.
No, I can see where Jay's coming from. I appreciate both sides of it because I grew up with muscle cars. My dad had a Gran Torino that had 500 horsepower that we take to the strip with wheelie bars on it and shit. It was awesome. But
I had a GSX.
Yeah,
with DSM link and all of that, because that was what it took to tune the car that I had. But again, my dream car would be like a fully built hot rod.
I gotcha. So given your perfect dream car, you would go for the most mechanical thing you could possibly get your hands on.
Yeah, the closest thing to a muscle car I had was my track built Z28 was a 92. It was still 2-port injection with a computer. Granted, it was OBD1. It still had a computer, and that thing pissed me off like no end.
It's just so hard to be competitive with a carburetor, though. That's the only problem. Is it's like it's such old.
But you assume I'm racing or being competitive with it. I'm talking about my dream car, not can I build something that's going to waste your electric car. That's not the way I look at it.
Because you're not wasting my P1 that I don't have yet.
See, when I go 4 miles and I'm out of gas, you're going to be like.
No, except for the P1. What did they say on the battery? It can't even go a mile. Like literally, it's just a giant capacitor used to bolster the motor a little bit. Like I don't even think it has a mile's worth of electric capacity.
Chase Butler's all. Chase Butler's all. My question is becoming a popular topic. No, it's just anything else. If you're passionate about something, that's what I'm passionate about when it comes to cars. I don't like this label of Jay, and this happens all the time. And you just did it to me, Jay. You like PCs? Why do you have an iPhone? You should have an Android. That's a label. Why should I have an Android because I have one thing? Or why should I want an electric fuel-injected car because I'm an overclocker? It doesn't make sense.
Because a random person on the internet demanded it, Jay. Why do you need more than that?
You're not a random person. You're a person talking to me, and you said it.
Did I? Did I do that?
You did. You were like, you were a PC tuner. I don't understand why you would want a mechanical car.
I did do that.
You are a random guy on the internet, but you're right in front of me, dude.
But at the same time, though, I would love to see Jay sit down and overclock a Tesla Model S and get the world's record. That'd be pretty cool.
That would lead to a fire.
Okay, hold on. I think I got a compromise here. How about we get you a Tesla Model S and you just rip all the fucking guts out of it and put a giant naturally aspirated V8 in it, just to smite people. So you'll be the only one driving around in a Model S. It's like blah 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 blah. It'd be awesome.
I have a Tesla that turns on with a rap pop pop pop. No,
that'd be hilarious.
That's like those guys who'll take those Honda CRXs and put V8s in them.
The coolest Honda build that I ever saw, no shit, I saw a guy, it wasn't a CRX, it was a Civic, I think it was a 92 or 93 Civic hatchback, and he literally relocated the motor to the back, an LS Integra motor, put a turbo on it, and got up to 500 horsepower and put slicks in the rear. But literally, the engine was sitting behind the driver's seat with no barrier. So you're basically sitting in there with the windows rolled down, sitting next to the.
Really? Now Chase himself, who started this topic, is calling me a Tesla hater.
Oh, is he really?
That's bait.
Banned.
You were totally baited into this whole thing.
Hold on, I'm blocking you.
No,
hold
Drew
on.
nailed it.
Hold
Drew
on.
Walden said Jay must have had a bad experience with an electric car as a child. I think he might.
Electric cars didn't fucking exist when I was a child. Get real. I'm older than your parents.
That's not true. I watched Jay Leno's garage, and he actually has an electric car from the 1920s.
All right,
a full electric carriage.
All right, shut up.
What is Paul pouring here?
He showed you a while ago.
Ooh.
Okay, here's a hypothetical
Brother
question.
Thelonious Belgian-style Abbey Ale.
In a Tech Syndicate glass? What?
Yes, this is a Tech Syndicate glass. They're available on epicpants.com. I was not paid to say that.
I need to get one of those. I mean, Logan,
the check
you
just
need to
hasn't
send me
showed
one of
up in the mail yet, Paul.
Logan, I'm poor. Send me one. I'll drink more beer, I promise.
All right, so this is a question that we could all answer. It's hypothetical. Okay. Thomas Wisdom says, appropriate question for Thomas Wisdom. For all three of you, a briefcase with $25,000 appears at your door. No strings attached. The cash is yours. What do you do?
How does he know what happened to me yesterday?
Well, Logan was over there.
What would you do, Paul?
Wait, so sorry. $25,000 appears at my door. No strings attached. What do I do?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, in a case. Don't forget, it's in a case. That makes a difference.
It does.
Okay.
It makes you feel important. It's like whoever dropped it off is obviously.
It's one of those aluminum cases.
Yeah.
Or aluminium.
Is this like a simple plan?
I think you're thinking way too deep into this.
Yeah, you can do anything you want with it. Just knee-jerk reaction. You're like, holy shit, I got $25,000 to blow. What do you do with it?
Well, it only takes me about a little over 3 hours to drive to Vegas.
I'm kind of with you. I was thinking the same thing. It's like, I'm going to put it all on red and turn it to 50,000 or just pretend it never happened.
No, I mean that kind of. I would take a bunch of it and like save it and do all sorts of responsible things. But I would take some and like have a little trip and that kind of.
That's the boring answer I have. Considering I've just wiped out all of my debt, I would be like, "Yay! This is massive cushion for the bank account and savings."
I would spend
accounts.
mine to lease a Tesla Model S and drive it to California and do Brody's on Jay's lawn. That's what I would do.
That'd be
And then
fine.
I take the rest of the money and then buy some electric RC cars and then drive around his hallway and stuff. It'll be awesome.
I would bank it though, because you never know when you go into work one day and lose your job.
Oh,
I just had to, Jerry.
Jay, why do you gotta be a poor shamer? Why do you gotta be a poor people?
Because you're tearing up my lawn with your Tesla.
Oh my god, I'm sorry. At least I didn't make any noise or wake your neighbors while I did it.
Why are there rocks pelting my wall? I don't know.
Actually, the Tesla's kind of loud. I was next to one at a stoplight with my light down when he punched it, and it was like, I mean, it sounded like Star Trek, like shuttlecraft taking off.
I almost feel like they have to make some sort of noise just so it's safe for deaf people. Did you remember when the Priuses were new and they were like, deaf people are walking in front of Priuses across the nation? It's a tragedy. Deaf people are being killed by Priuses. It's a tragedy. This is not drunk tech talk. I promise it's not drunk tech talk. No, I kind of. It's funny that it was in the news. All of a sudden, deaf people were being hit by hybrids, and it was like a major thing. Like, we need to make the hybrids make noise. Or blind people, I'm sorry, not deaf people, blind people. I was thinking, for a second there, I'm like, yeah, they wouldn't hear even a muscle car, would they? No, blind people were getting hit by Priuses. There we go. I have not been drinking much.
Well, you know, they put two horns on the electric cars. Like the Volt has something called a pedestrian horn, and it just goes me, like quiet. It's not like full on horn. It's just like a little get the fuck out of the way horn.
So you can be courteous and not make them jump out of their skin.
Exactly.
No,
I want to wonder what it was for when we got the car. I was like, why does this little button just go beep 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 beep?
Look,
I don't get it.
My brother-in-law works at a diesel big rig shop, and he can legitimately get me a freight train horn. I want to put one of those on my Durango. So
that would be cool. Have you seen the videos of when they drive through the parking lots?
Absolutely. Hornblasters.com. I want to get one of those, and he was like, I can get I can get the horn if you just get the compressor. I'm like,
is that street legal? Like,
no.
Okay.
No. Train horns.
But here's the thing. But here's the thing, Paul. They get tucked up like under the car, right? Like in the Durango, it would be tucked up under there. You couldn't really see it. It's so freaking loud. It's so omnidirectional. You wouldn't be able to tell where it's coming from if you did it in like traffic.
Yeah. So if in a parking lot with buildings with windows and stuff.
So if a cop was across the street, you're sitting in traffic, and you lay on that horn for a couple of seconds, he's not going to know exactly where it came from because he's going to be too busy wiping out his pants for the first few seconds he responds.
Yeah, I remember the first video that I saw that I was like some guys in like some old 70s like beater car, and they just had a air tank in the trunk. Yeah. And it was just and I think the horn too was like mounted somewhere. It wasn't like a good job. It's like you could tell they just got bored one day and just threw the shit together and stuck it in their trunk. In the videos, them hanging a GoPro out the window, and they're like, you literally see everybody hit the deck. It's like everybody's natural reaction to a sound that loud is to get down.
I got hit by one of those one time, and at that point I was like, I have to do this. Because I was standing at there was like a taco stand on the corner outside, right? There's a lot of like taco stands out here in California, and they're usually really good. So you're standing out there and you're waiting with 15, 20 people waiting for your tacos, and this Ford Ranger drives by. Burn, 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 burn. You hear echoing in the mountains. I think all of my hair, even though it's short, was like, whoop, it went straight up because I got so freaking like frozen with fear. It was like, what the hell is that? So yeah. But there's some videos on YouTube of a guy who put foghorns from a cargo ship in the back of his Scion.
And when a cargo ship, like shit that needs to be heard for miles.
Yeah, I think it can be heard for 15 miles. But it's funny too. He turns it on. The camera's like, I don't know, 400 yards away, and all you hear is, and he's got like massive ear protection on. He opens the hatch of the Scion XB, and all you see is a big round horn that fills the entire hatch. And I was like, I so need to do that. Could you imagine blowing that at a tailgater?
My buddy in college had one of those PAs under the hood, so he had a little intercom on the inside, and he could go on and like holler stuff at people walking by.
Yeah.
That was always mildly amusing.
Hey, you in the red dress. You're hot.
Yeah.
What's your number? It's all echoing. All right. Let's take some more questions here. Are Matthew K. Are optical drives actually obsolete?
Yes.
Depends on your definition of obsolete.
Thank you.
I
That's what
hear
was
the
going
I
with.
hear the term legacy and obsolete used for lots of things. People right now, I mean, I myself used the phrase in a description of a video that the GTX 780 is obsolete, which I didn't.
How
mean to say.
dare you!
I didn't mean to say that it's.
You hold your tongue.
I know. I'm so sorry, Jay. But what I meant to say is I would no longer buy a GTX 780. So granted, that's kind of a stretching the definition of the term, but yeah, I mean, I have for the most part stopped using them. I still have it around, kind of like I kept a floppy drive around for a long time because
Sorry.
because I never knew when I might need to access my floppy.
Okay, so Jerry says yes, they are. You say it kind of depends on the
I'm gonna
situation.
flip flop a little bit. I'm
Oh, boy.
gonna say no, it isn't. The only reason is because by definition it means no longer produced or used, and even today they're still producing DVDs. So
Yeah,
technically, optical media isn't obsolete then, by definition.
I think my answer more or less says you could consider them obsolete in the sense that you no longer need them to get a source of data that would only
Right.
be available on that media. That's to me is when something is obsolete. Obsolete means
Yeah.
I no longer need this for any reason whatsoever.
And it's not even need. It needs so much as it's even more convenient
Yeah.
to get it another way. Like, for instance, watching a movie on Netflix versus buying the DVD. It's like you literally click a button instead of having to, like, go to the store.
You should have seen it. My daughter, I handed her a VHS the other day.
Oh, nice.
And she was like, What is
What
this?
is this?
I'm like, that's Aladdin, because she wanted to watch Aladdin. She's like, what do you do with it? I'm like, that's a movie. She's like, oh. And I'm like, and when you're done, you have to rewind it. She's like, you have to what? I was like, rewind it. She's like,
Dude, I remember back when video stores charged you if you didn't rewind it. It was
Yeah.
like $1 or
Can
something.
please
if you didn't
rewind.
the tape. Yeah.
but yet they,
You
but
could
yet they,
buy a rewinding machine that only did that. It's just a little
I had
box.
one.
You put the tape in it and rewinds it. Like
I had
remember
one.
them selling those.
it was like super fast, but then it could tell when you were at the end of the tape because it would slow down.
Yep.
Because if you got the cheap one that didn't slow down, when it hit the end of the tape, it usually busted the tape.
Yeah.
Classic.
Or Laserdisc. A lot of people still really like. I mean, they don't produce them anymore, but a lot of people like Laserdisc.
Laserdisc. That's
Yeah.
something I haven't heard of in a long time.
Dude, I
Laserdisc
literally-
just look cool.
Dude, I watched Star Wars on Laserdisc, and to this day, I've yet to see a better, like a better, cleaner version of it.
Look
No.
at my big CD.
No, dude, something about Laserdisc and like the severe lack of compression in the video. Just
Because
oh, God.
Laserdisc wasn't even 1080 though, was it?
No,
No,
it's
it
still
wasn't.
480.
But
Yeah.
back then, we were watching it on CRTs and shit. But it's like, it's just I don't know. I went to my friend's house. He had a range expander and a Laserdisc player, and oh my God, it was fucking awesome. Like
you know what the sorry, I lost my train of thought because I looked up and saw that I had encoded 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 frames. That was crazy. All right, anyway, I remember when I got my first DVD player, the coolest thing was like, hey, watch this. You pause it and you're like, there's no lines when you pause it.
yeah, you're right. You're right.
There's no
Look,
flickering
it's not
image.
interlaced.
You don't have to adjust the tracking when you first start playing.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And then when the auto tracking VCRs were like the thing,
Oh yeah.
I still have a dual combo VHS DVD player.
Yeah. No, I remember the rituals, man. You'd have to flip the little door open and like blowing it really hard to get all the dust and shit off of the little magnetic pickup head.
Mhm.
And then remember they'd eat the tapes every once in a while too, and you pull the tape
Yeah.
out, and then you'd have to get like they did like cassette tapes would just turn when you put something in them, but something about the
You had to-
VHS tapes they'd lock. You'd have to do
You had to
something
push.
to get 'em-
You'd have to push the button and then open the flap.
yeah, and then
There's a
open
little
the
button
flap,
on
and
the
then
side.
you could turn the damn thing. Yeah, it was like
You know, there's 1,100 people in here, and do you know how many of them probably legitimately have no idea what we're talking about?
probably a lot.
At least a
Oh.
couple. I would say at least a couple hundred are like have never touched a VHS tape.
Will HC says optical drives may be outdated for reading, but safe long-term backup is pretty solid. I'm going to argue that because I've had so many problems with read-write media, die-based media going bad over time.
Now, the shelf life for optical media is usually something between 3 and 7 years,
It's horrible.
They do have archive grade stuff, but the discs cost a lot more.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's-
it's not a good long-term backup solution. Just use a hard drive.
That's what I was going to say. One of my early tech talks, when I used to do it by myself, I talked about Samsung had created like a 3 terabyte disk that was like a DVD media, and it was specifically meant for storage. And I even questioned it then. I was like, but why? How long would it take to write to this media? Right? I mean, how long did it take 700 megabytes on a DVD or a CD rewrite to get written?
No,
And
I've
4
had so many problems
gigabytes.
with. I've had so many problems with optical media just going bad.
Yeah.
Jesus. All right. Well, we got to answer Jake Fisher's question since he's asked it like 7,000 times. And I actually
Okay.
have a friend named Jake Fisher, by the way.
You know,
Hopefully that's
you're
him.
not doing anyone any favors when you give to the pressure, Jerry.
Well, I'm giving him the pressure because it's something I actually want to answer.
All right. Let it be
Thoughts on-
known. Let it be known. We want to answer this.
We want to answer this. We were not pressured by Jake Fisher.
I'm taking
and
Jerry's
9 out
word
of 10
for it.
times we do just ban people that do this repeat shit, but it's a good question, so we'll go with it. Okay, thoughts on Razer products. I want to go on record saying the only Razer product so far that I really want to get my hands on is that damn blade. I just want the laptop. That's
This
it. The
segment
rest of their
brought to you
stuff, I don't know.
by Dollar Shave Club. No, different razor, right?
They keep mailing me, by the way, but I'm like, I only shave once every like 4 months, so I just, you know.
I hate shaving.
You can tell I haven't shaved in a while. I have owned 3 Razer products. I have owned a Death Adder, a Black Widow Ultimate, and one of the Naga mice. All
Okay.
3 of them have broken.
Same here. I
Really?
own 2 Imperators
Yes.
and both of them broke.
I
The tracking fucked up on them.
I know no one at Razer's watching, and I'm not hooked up with Razer. I have no problem saying, if given the choice between A or B, I will always select the other if one is Razer. And if I'm ever asked flat out, what do you recommend? I never recommend Razer. That's because of my personal experiences with it.
As far as the mice go, that's completely on par with me. I've had 2 of their mice, and both of them had the same exact problem. After about 6 months, they would just start wandering,
it's the scroll
and the
wheel.
tracking would get fucked up. And,
The scroll wheel stops scrolling.
yeah, I've
Yeah.
never had that problem with like any other mouse. For some reason, it's just I
Yeah.
don't know. And it was an
My-
expensive mouse. That Imperator, holy shit, that was like an $80 mouse when I bought it.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Naga is not cheap either.
My experience with Razer has been like a little bit more positive. I think I bought the Lycosa or I think something like that back in the day when I was playing World of Warcraft, and I ended up returning it because I thought the button layout was pretty bad. It had side buttons, but to push one side, you ended up squeezing and hitting the ones on the other side. But the Death Adder is like one of my all-time favorite mice. And
Really?
Jay, I'm sorry that you have had a bad experience
I actually
with
went
yours.
through 2 of them. I mean,
Two of
technically I've had 4 Razer products, 3 products. One of them was an RMA that did the exact same thing, where the scroll wheel stopped working and then the optics got all messed up, and at one point just stopped working altogether on any
'Cause
surface.
Logan was here, yesterday, and he has a Death Adder that he's had for 8 years, and he like still uses it as his.
I have to wonder if maybe the early revisions of stuff was better than now, because I've only dealt with them over the last 3 years.
Okay, that's possible. They change manufacturers and that sort of thing sometimes.
Yeah.
But I will say that the Blade is a really really nice product. It's really well made
Okay.
from everything I experienced.
Yes, I
With
will
it-
agree with that. But I think Razer has a little less control over that aspect of it, because they're still dealing with Intel parts and whoever the board suppliers are and the GPU suppliers and all that stuff. But in terms of peripherals, I've had nothing but poor experiences.
Yeah, but I still
will-
want that laptop. That laptop's awesome.
Yes, that Razer is freaking fantastic.
And I do give extra credit to any mouse that's like invariably works in a BIOS or UEFI environment that has mouse enabledness, because not all of them do, and a lot of them can really really screw up. And the Death Adder has always worked at least in the boards I've connected it to for that, which is kind of a niche little nitpicky thing about a mouse, but it's one of those things I like.
It's true. There are times you plug in a mouse and like a motherboard won't boot or something.
Yep.
It happens. It all has to do with what its legacy support is like too. So
I think we answered that one. I think
we had a lot of Ask Tech Talk questions tonight. I'm surprised.
You did.
Austin Vermillion is asking all 3 of us, what OS do you guys use? What gaming performance do you get for Windows 8 over 7? That's a question more for you two, because I'm not on 8.
So like my daily driver for gaming and editing is on Windows 7 still, but I have several Windows 8 systems set up that I do some benchmarking on and stuff. I do like Windows 8. I do completely turn off any of the Metro stuff, and if I can avoid that, then I'm cool with it. The under the hood stuff for Windows 8 is actually pretty impressive. They have done some improvements from Windows 7, and those so it is like a little bit faster, and definitely stuff like booting up. Booting up is faster, and there's a little bit better support for like integration with an SSD into the UEFI, so that the boot process can be like 8 to 12 seconds or that sort of thing.
It's interesting because someone I know legitimately loves Metro UI, like loves everything about it, and I thought he was trolling me, but no, he legitimately loves everything about the Metro UI.
How long have they been at the asylum?
Very padded walls. I don't know. I don't like the idea.
I worked
of it.
there for 15 years and I still don't agree with it.
Well, and what are they doing now? I mean, we've talked about it already. They're just shoving it into the start menu. You cannot bypass the Metro UI. We will just make it smaller and put it there anyway.
But when everyone was complaining about it when it first came out, that was like one of the things I was like, well, if they had the option to shrink it down to make it like it was a start menu, and they could still have some of those live tiles and stuff like that, like some of those are still useful.
You heard it, guys. Microsoft has ripped off Paul's intellectual properties, his IP.
I've had a few ideas that large companies have taken, but it's okay. It's for the people.
It's for the people.
It makes life better.
Let's see. Hello. Should I change out my NVIDIA GeForce 6800 to a newer one? To a newer 68 or 680? I'm sorry, not 680.
Okay, I was like 6800. Good
yeah,
lord.
Upgrade. No, 680. I guess it depends on what games you're playing and what resolution you're playing them at.
They get dusty. You should swap them out every once in a while.
2 gigabytes of VRAM is a little low for 1080p on high settings. But if you're not playing AAA titles and it meets your needs now, there's no need to upgrade. There's no reason why you should take 3 780s and put them to 3 980s. It would be the stupidest thing a person could ever do. Don't ever do that.
Wow, don't sugarcoat it, man. Jesus.
Okay, Jay, what if you get it through the EVGA step-up program?
Did he really buy it within the last 90 days?
You said if you have 780s, don't bother with 980s.
Okay, if they're EVGA and they qualify for the step up, yes, do it, because they would be the same price. Well, no, maybe $100 more for the 980, right? So yeah,
I really like the power savings. I really like the power savings.
And I don't think Jerry caught on. I was basically trolling myself, Jerry, because I was saying 780s are great.
Because you're an asshole and you have so many of them. I know.
I'm telling you, man, until you start wearing that brown lipstick.
I know. I need to get some of that because I'm still rocking 3 680s. It's like I've never been this many generations.
No, you're not. You're rocking
out.
2 of them.
Oh, yeah, I do only got 2, don't I? Now you made me even feel worse. It's all right. The third wouldn't have done shit anyways.
2-way 680s is still a very nice configuration.
And he has the 4 gigabyte version, so they're not obsoleted as fast because of VRAM limitations.
That's totally nice. I was running a 770 up until just very recently, and that's roughly equivalent to a 680. It's overclocked, but it's like an overclock.
Faster RAM, 7 gigahertz.
Oh yeah,
RAM.
the RAM's a lot faster.
Yeah.
I do need some GPUs, guys. I really do. So.
Why? You don't play games, mister.
We'll get you some.
Dude, I'm gonna play games. I've been saying it for months. I'm gonna play games, and it might take months more, but I'll get there. I'm gonna play games, and I want Minecraft to run at a full 30 frames per second. Okay? Jeez.
This is the look of.
You can't pull that with 2 680s, Jerry.
No,
come on.
No, that's the downside of Java.
What kind of texture packs are you running?
The awesome ones.
It's like you're running Skyrim in the background, fully modded.
Oh, I'm getting messages now on Skype saying, "Why are you sitting there being so quiet all of a sudden?" What, am I usually loud? Come on, guys.
No, you sound normal to me.
Yeah, I thought so.
Every
once in a while I slow down. I see a picture on the internet, and I got to savor it for a little while, and I get quiet.
Let's see. Another question for you, if you're totally okay with it, Paul. I know you'll know the answer to this. It's from Thomas Wisdom again. He says, "Are any of you 3 participating in Extra Life?"
Extra Life.
I think it's one of the best charities out there in terms of what the gaming community can do to make a difference.
I'll actually be doing my 24-hour stream this month. Mm-hmm. Might even do it on my birthday. That'd be kind of cool, huh? October 30th. I should see. I'll check and see if I can make that work out. That'd be kind of cool. I'd like to do that for my birthday.
Jerry should get tweeted 50 coffees on his birthday.
That'd be awesome because I love my coffees. And I told my wife, I said, we're not buying Starbucks anymore. We're only using Starbucks if we get Starbucks.
I just realized I got tweeted a coffee like a couple months ago and I never redeemed it.
You better redeem it,
I
dude.
should.
I haven't been
I need to
tweeted
go
a
back.
coffee in a really long time, but that's okay because I still shamelessly go and buy it every day. Oh, that's terrible.
That's because
Uh,
Jay has a job.
No, it's because Jay has 2 jobs and I need it to stay awake.
True story, man.
So
Oh,
I apologize if this is kind of a noob question about Extra Life, but there's a concentrated event, right, that happens on a specific weekend that a lot of people participate in, right? But there's also individual events that people can set up whenever they want to.
That's the way I've always understood it.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So yeah, there's one coming up towards the end of October, if I'm not mistaken. The kind of a big one that they do every year.
I never really get a chance to participate in a lot of this stuff because I'm just so busy, but I always promote the channels that are out there doing
Yeah.
active live streams.
Yeah,
for,
me too.
So
I'm doing it though. I'm definitely doing it this time because
Yeah, I'm gonna be gone at the end of this month, and I think I'm gonna be gone when the main event is happening that a lot of people are participating in. We were able to support KB Mod's effort, kbmod.com. I don't know if you guys are familiar with their website, but last year we donated a couple systems to them that they kind of did an auction off thing, or like you bought. They gave them away basically, but they raised money doing it. And this year we actually sent them over the white build. If you guys remember that one that we actually built quite a few months ago, in a white fractal Define R4, and it's got a pretty cool white Galaxy GTX 770 in it.
Didn't it also have like white dominators?
They're not Dominators, but it does have some white Corsair memory in there.
Oh, Corsair. Okay.
It's like the Corsair low profile stuff. It looks pretty cool, and like a Silverstone all-in-one cooler that has white tubing on it, and a white Hynix SSD that was actually kind of the inspiration for the whole thing. So anyway, we sent them over that one, and then we also sent them over a Rosewheel build that Joanne put together also a few months back. So they're going to be giving away both of those as they do. I think they're going to do a 48-hour live stream or something ridiculous along those lines.
That's cool.
So yeah.
Baragon77 asks me, Jay, how do you have your monitors connected to your 3780s?
with cables. I knew he was going to say that. I knew
see,
it. That was
I'm using
textbook smart ass response.
Because I have 144 hertz panels. I'm using DVI cables, dual link DVI cables, because of the high refresh rate. The upper panel, it's a 60 hertz Acer panel. V246HBL, I believe is the model number. That's connected with the DVI as well. I'm just watching Paul pour that right now, and I'm kind of thirsty.
Sorry, I didn't mean to distract you.
I'm kind of thirsty. No, let's see here. We're going to start wrapping this up, guys. We only got 7 minutes left in the stream. If you guys enjoyed the stream, as always, you can show your support by just hitting that thumbs up button. And if you're not subbed to either of us three, you should probably go and do that. We all three like to create content that you guys will enjoy.
Yes.
Plus it gives us raging nerd boners to see
total
new
raging
subscribers.
nerd boners. Every time I see that subscriber thing go up by one, I just like, woo. I mean, nerd like that.
Sergeant Ballistic is currently editing while watching us. I highly apologize. I don't know how you can concentrate on us while you're editing. Turn off your editing software, please.
I can't listen
Seriously.
or watch or anything while I edit. Like I love to listen to music while I do stuff, and that's the worst thing I hate about editing is I can't listen to music while I do it. But if I can, I don't want to overpromise because I still need to do some editing tonight. But I have a video that I did with Logan while he was here that I'm going to try to get up later this evening. If not, it'll be up tomorrow for sure. So guys, if you're interested in kind of a funny, silly video,
I better go sub you so I can watch it, huh? No, I'm kidding.
you should sub Paul's Hardware. You should do that. That'd be sweet.
I wouldn't be surprised if I wasn't. It seems like some of my favorite people, I go to their channels and the button's red. I'm like, I could have sworn that I was subbed. So this question comes straight from Fractal Josh. He says, Jay, why don't you computer more? And what shampoo does Paul use for such manageable hair?
What? I you go first, Jay. He asked you a
I
question.
think there's some people were caught off guard by that one.
Why don't I computer more? Well, because I'm waiting on my 4th 980. That's why.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I have. I think Head and Shoulders was the shampoo. I have no idea. I don't. My wife buys it, and I just put it on my head.
Ben Howie says, Thoughts on one GTX 980 versus dual dueling, dual Crossfire R9 285Xs, they don't exist, or a single R9 295X2? Well, you've kind of got your price points all over the place on that one, sir. Pick one price point and then compare. Honestly, the 1980, it's going to be hard to find any title that you can't max out at 1080p or even 1440p at sustainable, decent latency frame rates. That'll be an enjoyable gaming experience. The 285Xs don't exist. The non-Xs do. And then the 295X2 would be the highest performing card of the three, technically two options. But then again, it's a hotter card overall and requires more power, higher end PSU, as well as space to mount that radiator, so you've got more chassis configurations to worry about. So I would say the 980 because of overall price to performance. Paul may think I'm an idiot and say go with a 970, which would also be a legitimate solution.
If you're looking to spend that much money, then there's nothing wrong with the 980, I think. I mean, it's the 980 is priced much more like reasonably from NVIDIA's standpoint, I think. I mean, it's a hand card. It's performing as well or better than the cards that cost that much. The 970 is just, I feel like the 970 is priced like, I feel like they could have made the 970 $50 more and no one would have batted an eye. So I thought it was cool that it came out at such a low price.
You know what I kind of noticed? AMD video card reviews sort of just halted when the 970 launched, and that says something. Like, all of a sudden, no AMD cards were going to be sent for review anymore. And it was like, well, that does prove something there.
Well, this is a thick and a excellent topic to dive into with 3 minutes left in the show.
Absolutely.
But all of the speculation about the different process nodes that they've been working on, whether you're talking about 20 nanometer or less down to 16 or 14, that they've been discussing about using and what they're going to use with the new GPUs, and whether or not there's like a secret hidden GPU that one of the vendors has up their sleeve versus what the other ones are going to come out with. But I'm sure we'll discuss that in next week's episode of Tech Talk.
Ooh, cliffhangers.
Conspiracies.
You would think Paul knew how to do this streaming thing. All right, wait, 3 minutes.
Well, according to his
left on
channel,
this.
he has been copying Awesome Sauce News since 2012.
I have. That's my MO right there.
And that's why he has more subscribers than Awesome Sauce Network right now, because every time he gets more subscribers, he just copies those subscribers and then pastes them. So that's why the number is compounding.
If you guys are really interested why it says that, it's because at the point when I finally was like, you know what, I want to start my own YouTube channel, and like I was talking to Kyle about it, and he was like, yeah, I want to as well. And like he went home and did it that night, and I didn't do it till the next day, so technically he made his YouTube channel first. So I copied him.
Oh, that's just horrible.
Shameless.
That is shameless and horrible on so many levels.
It's all right though. It's all right. I like Kyle. So
dude, look at you tearing it up though. What is that? 77,000 subs? I think
77. Yes, people have been like fantastic.
Yeah. If you look at
everyone is awesome.
But if you look at those daily numbers, Jerry, man, we both got to watch out, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna go check them out now.
We're gonna have to stop. We're gonna have to stop bringing them on because No, we love you, Paul. That's why we have you on.
Wow, look at that growth, man.
We need to get all of us in the same place and like all build.
Please don't do that.
Okay, no, never mind. Bad idea. Bad.
I'm just kidding. We wouldn't be able to walk 10 feet without everyone being like, "Oh my God, it's Barnacle!" and a couple of people with him. Paul, real quick, tell the story. You and Logan got recognized in an In-N-Out drive-in or drive-through.
Yeah, like so we were going to get food last night, and the place we wanted to go like didn't have food anymore, so that kind of sucks. We're like, we'll just go to In-N-Out because In-N-Out's awesome. So we're like going through the drive-through, and the guy like takes the card and whatever and processes the payment. And he looks over and like I thought he was recognizing Logan. I was like 100% he's spotted Logan and he's recognizing Logan, but he actually like looked down because I was in the passenger seat. I was like, you do the videos for Newegg and everything, and I was like, yeah, dude, that's awesome. And he's like, oh, and you do the tech whatever thing. He's like, yeah. So he like recognized both of us. It was really.
I'm a
really
huge
funny.
fan. You do that tech that thing that what's it called? No.
I mean, he recognized us, and you could tell he had watched before. You could tell, he wasn't fanboying out over us or anything.
Well,
like
Jennifer and I were at where were we? Pyology, and we were sitting down at Pyology. And
Great place.
We got our food. We were sitting down. I was actually talking to Steve. Steve OMG, guys. This is Steve at Newegg. I was actually on the phone with him. He was asking me something. I remember what it was. He was asking me something. I think we were talking about swatting at the time, actually. And this guy, he's cleaning the tables, and he was like, apparently he stood there for a minute, and I didn't recognize him. My wife noticed, like, hey, he's kind of staring at you. And then I looked up, and he was like, hey, you're Jay, right? And I was like, yeah. He's like, oh, hey, I love your videos. And I was like, cool. And I'm sitting there on the phone, and Steve's like, what's happening? What's happening over there? And I was like, I think I just got recognized. Steve is cracking up, and the guy was like, oh, hey, cool. That's awesome that you came into my restaurant. And you could tell it was awkward, like he didn't know what to say. And it's equally as awkward for us because we don't know what to say back when they don't know what to say first. And so it was kind of like this moment of just like, hey, you're awesome. No, you're awesome. Throw fists.
I wish I could have the response that Steve has when people come up to him, because he is so stoked. Like anytime somebody comes up, it's like, oh, you're Steve, like you do videos. He's like,
yeah,
it makes him so happy, and he's just so like, oh my gosh, like let's take a picture together. Here's my email address, like email me, and like let's talk and be friends, and like, oh yeah, like
he has a fan card. Here's my fan card.
So if you guys ever spot Steve on the street, like just go up and say hello to him, because
go up to Steve and tell him how much you love Paul's videos.
But he would roll with you with that. Like he's the most positive person I think I've ever met. Like
yeah, he is,
honestly. So like,
plus he has a baby face and a heart of gold. He pees rainbows. He's amazing. I love the guy.
And that body too, man.
But seriously, if you're peeing rainbows, go to the hospital immediately.
with that, guys, Tech Talk number 56 with Barnacules and Paul's Hardware. Guys, go sub all of us. Hit the like button if you enjoyed today's video. If you hated it, you can also hit the dislike button, because believe it or not, it ranks us higher as well. So either way, we win. All right, we're going to go ahead and roll that outro. Paul, take it away.
You have been watching Tech Talk Show with Jay and Jerry, and Paul joined you today. Now we're done though. We're gonna go, and thanks for watching, and hope you enjoy.